Hey everyone, it's Michael Baltos from Orderflows, and this is the Orderflows market analysis for Thursday, June 6, 2017. And tomorrow, just a heads up, I do have a webinar I'm doing. You can sign up for it down below. The link is in the description. And I'll be talking about how order flow can give you an edge in your trading. You know, I'm always talking about how order flow can help you out. I'm going to show you some nice examples. Actually, that came from today. I'm not gonna talk about the big one, but I'm going to talk about a couple of the other examples. Very similar to what I'll be talking about in the webinar. And if you can't attend, that's fine. Just sign up, and at least you'll be on the email list for the replay, so you can watch the replay over the weekend or whenever you want. Now, tomorrow is the first Friday of July, July 7th. July 1st was on a Saturday. That's why it seems a bit late. But and you got the jobs report coming out, and you know, ADP numbers came out the other day, and it showed companies adding fewer workers to payrolls than the prior month. So, you know, again, I'm curious to see how this job number comes out. I'm not going to trade it, but I don't trade the jobs numbers, but I'm always like to watch it. I do think you know, a stronger than expected number may give further impetus to a sell-off in the bonds. Basically, you got hawkish central bank comments, ECB minutes furthered that trend. Policymakers last month opened the door to dropping from their message their basically long-standing chit-chat of to expand or extend the bank's bond purchase program if necessary. In other news, crude oil added another 39 cents. Rising U.S. production and is basically dampening enthusiasm over declining crude and gas stockpiles. But again, you know, hey, gas is at like 12-year lows, you know, at the pump, which is the important thing. And, you know, I don't think that's a bad thing as a consumer, but, you know, and I think that will also help spur the economy a little bit. So, but anyway, you know, I digress. You know, I talk about fundamentals just to sort of give you a bit of a background. But before I jump in, brief disclaimer, this presentation is for educational and informational purposes only and is not considered a solicitation to buy or sell a futures contract or make any other type of investment decision. Futures trading contains substantial risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Tools I use in this presentation are the Orderflows Trader and the Delta Scalper. So let's jump right in here really quick. First, I'll talk about the 5 years. And 5 years saw some nice movement early in the morning, and you know, just go back down here to the low of the day here, 714. You've got a ratio. You don't have a divergence. You still got negative delta. Look at this. You got some very supportive buying going on down here. 6,000 here, 4,000 here. You got a couple buying imbalances off this low. Even, you know, coming, you know, slightly before it. You know, I always like to see what the volumes were when you're hitting the lows earlier. There were some decent ones, but not as strong as you're seeing down here. Now, I talk about this trade setup in one of the PDFs, ebooks, whatever you want to call it, that I had distributed when I first released the Orderflows Trader. It's called what I call the O2X trade. And what it is you have a ratio on the low or a ratio on the high. You look for a pullback within 2 ticks of this low. I mean, it can be, you know, up to 2 ticks. It can be right on this low again. But, you know, ideally where you're going to place your limit is 2 ticks off this low. So you'll be getting it in here at this low is 117.13 and a quarter. You should be getting, you know, put a limit in to buy it at 117.13 and 3/4. And it trades there. It trades one lot. You wouldn't have been filled. Trades another. Hits it again here a few minutes later. This is 714. It's 719. And you know, you probably would have been filled here because, you know, it did go offered here. So, you know, you definitely would have been filled. If you weren't filled there, you'd been filled over here at 729 as you came down and you hit the low again. You know, you test the low. So the O2X trade, what you do is you have a ratio, don't have a divergence, put a bid in 2 ticks away from that low, or if it was a high, it would be 2 ticks off the high. Your stop is just right below the low. So you're buying it 2 ticks above the low right here at 117.13 and 3/4. Comes down to a quarter. You're risking 3 ticks on this trade, basically. You know, so Your stop's at 117.13. Your entry's at 117.13 and 3/4. Boom, you get filled here. Actually, it rallies up here. You get filled for sure. If you doubt that you'd have been filled here, but you would have because it was offered there. And from 117.13 and 3/4, you can see here trade up to 15 and a 1/4. But here, this is a big move. If you're still in it, you're getting, it's a move from 117.13 and 3/4 all the way up to here 117.18, basically right up in here. You get the delta scalper giving you a sell signal, and the market starts selling off, rallies back up towards the area. We don't get up to the high of that bar on the delta scalper. Your stop would be just behind this high, so you're still in the trade, and it sells off back down towards your low again. Down here you got point of control at the bottom, which is very bullish. You got a bullish ratio as well, and we rally back up. Up. You got the delta scalper, but it's giving you a sell on a green candle, so you shouldn't be taking it. So there was some really nice order flow trading opportunities. These are things I talk about every day. Well, maybe not the O2X. I don't really talk about that much unless you're in the room. But this is something. This is a trade setup that I've put out there for years already, that people do use. And if you used it today in the 5 years, it give you a nice trade. But if you're using the delta scalper, boom, right up here on this, right where the market turns right here and sells off down towards your low. Bullish ratio, point of control on the bottom. Another thing I talk about every day. These are the same things I talk about every day. It's not like I'm just, and in the same markets, right? I talk about 5 years, I talk about bonds, I talk about euro currency, Japanese yen, E-minis. Those are the markets that I talk about every day. So, these are the same things you see me talking about. Sometimes I feel like I'm just talking about the same thing over and over, but, these things occur daily. So if you're not using order flow, you're really, I don't say leaving money on the table, but you're missing some nice yum trades. Yum is a term they like to use in Singapore to describe, basically slam dunk trading opportunities. Okay, so we'll go back here in the bonds this morning, and go back to around the 7 o'clock time here. What do you got here? 6:30. You do have the delta scalper giving you a buy right on the low, but it comes back immediately with the bearish ratio. Again, had you taken this, you'd have been stopped out. I mean, honestly, I would like to take this. These are the type of trades I like to take right off the low, but as luck would have it, there's still some selling coming in. So yeah, I would have been stopped out. It's not the end of the world. But anyway, you just wait for the next trade. I'm not just going to show you trades that are great winners. I gotta show you the times that they don't work out. So you come down here to no lows, not really any reason to be buying down here. Get down here, delta scalper again, giving you a buy signal. Then here you got a ratio and a divergence. I talk about this till I'm blue in the face. You guys are probably sick of me hearing me talk about it. But again, delta scalper, that's a buying opportunity right on the low. Ratio and divergence, and what do? You make a nice move up from basically the 10 area all the way up here to the 16, sort of hang around the 10 area. So you could have got something out of it. You should have been able to get something out of it before it starts coming down lower. But as you can see, what's changing here? Here you got a lot of bullish ratios, bullish. All of a sudden now here you got bearish. You should be able to recognize that things are changing. That we're probably going to start coming back into the lows again, which we do. You don't see any bearish signals in here. Nothing basically. Get down here, new low, this is 10 o'clock, ratio, blue number, divergence, the arrow. So that's your sign to be buying. And then here again, you get another bullish ratio. You don't have a divergence though, but again, you should still be long off of this bar here. Then delta scalper coming in again, right off the low. And, it's similar to the 5 years, you make this nice move up, but really you should have been getting long somewhere in here on the 152 area, and it trades all the way up above 12. Up here where we start going sideways and start heading, I'll say heading into the close for the day. But, once you got past 1 o'clock, it just really slowed down in here. So, these are things I talk about every day, ratios and divergence, delta scalper off lows. I did show you this delta scalper here. This one worked, this one worked. But I showed you, again, I went back a little early, 6:30. Here where delta scalper didn't work. Okay, again, I want you to see times where it works, times where it doesn't work. But again, you'll look for signs in the order flow that it's not going to work. Okay, next up is the S&Ps, and this is a 4-range chart. I'll show you the 4-range, I'll show you the 10-range. And yeah, S&Ps were under pressure pretty much the entire session. And, I'll just I'll start the charts here around 5:30 in the morning. Well, okay, 4:46, people say, oh, you had a ratio and divergence that failed. Yeah, it failed. You came right back with a bearish ratio right afterwards. Again, read the order flow that it's not going to work out. When you start seeing a bearish ratio after you get long, it's probably not going to be a very effective trade. But anyway, that's at 4 in the morning. I'm not going to discount it that it's at 4 in the morning, but if you want to count it, go ahead, count it. It's a losing trade. Just go through. So after cash opens here 8:30, start coming into these lows. You got divergence here, nothing, no ratio afterwards. Again, there's no reason to buy. People, you see me talking about buying off the lows or selling off highs. People think, oh, you're always trying to pick highs and lows. No, I'm not. Really, what I'm doing is I'm looking for signs in the market that things are changing. Okay, I'm not trying to pick a high. I'm not trying to pick a low. I'm letting the market tell me that, hey, you have a high here, or hey, you have a low here. So there's no reason to be buying off any of these lows here, this low. But what you can notice here is you got divergence that fails, divergence that failed, no divergences here. When I start seeing multiple divergences that fail, to me that's a sign that the market's trending either higher or lower. So already here 906, you get another divergence that fails. So from what time is this, 8:41 until 906, you've already got 3 failed divergences in a half hour. I'd be looking for the market. Once I see 3, for me it's like 3, get ready to go and get short on the next time you come into a low, and boom, you come into this low a little bit later, a minute later. Strong selling imbalance, boom, you both break right through this low at 12. You immediately trade down to 10 and a quarter. Now this is interesting. You come down here, you got a divergence, no ratio. Next bar you got a ratio. Again, I always talk about when you get a divergence and you don't get the ratio in that bar, look at the next bar if you get the ratio and you get it. And this made for a nice little trade here. Probably like the easiest trade of the day, honestly. From 12 all the way up to the 15 area before just sort of going sideways, start going down and going and rotating around the value area. Yeah, but that was the really big, to me, that was the big trade of the day. Now you get down here, right? You got this big imbalance, 23.81. It's a selling imbalance. And you see a big imbalance like that, you expect the market to sell off. But what it's telling you, right? It tells you sort of the opposite thing. It's telling you, hey, there's some supportive buying down here. You got buyers coming in here and bidding it at 24.16, and it would bounce back up a bit here for the short term. Then you get in here, you got a nice stacked imbalance. You do rally up a bit before it just falls over again as more selling comes in. And look at this selling imbalances, all red, all negative delta. You just know it's going to go lower. This is a nice bearish sign in here. And again, we come down into lows, late in the session. No failed divergences, but again, no reason to be buying off these lows, as we're going lower. So again, it's not just because we made a low, I'm looking for a reason to buy. Here you get a failed ratio and divergence as you come down lower than here. 245, you get a ratio and a divergence. And this one you get a move. So here you had one that failed. Here you got one that works. So what's your risk? Your risk is here from 07 down to was that 6? So 5 3/4. So 5 ticks. Okay. Then again, you're getting long in here at 6.5. And what does it do? It trades all the way up into the 09 area. So you're risking 5 ticks, and here you got back 3. What is that? 5 ticks, which is 1 point and 1 tick, and here you're getting back 2.5 points. So you're getting back double, more than double than what you risked on that trade. The 10 range chart, it was a bit interesting actually. If I could find it here, it gives some very nice trades with the delta scalper, and I want to talk about those. So anyway, going back here to what time is this here? Whoops, open this up a little bit here. Okay, this is 8:38, delta scalper right here. And you're getting short. around the 19 area, and it just sells off quite dramatically. There's no reason to be getting out of this position. Here you have a divergence, but divergence by itself is not a big enough reason. So from 19 all the way down to the 12, 13 area, here you get the delta scalper giving you a buy. It comes down here, yeah, it probably would have stopped me out. I probably would have taken the loss. I don't like it when it comes through the bottom of the signal bar. Then it makes a nice move up, so it's just unfortunate. But then later in the day, 1240, boom, you hit this swing high. Where is it? Right here. And then delta scalper giving you another sell right around that same level. Actually, it's around here. It was 22. Here it's slightly lower. This is 19 and a half. Well, at least the high of this bar is 19 and a half. But again, you're getting short in here in the next bar around 16 and a half. And what does it do? It trades right down to the 12 area. So it was giving you some. This one failed. This delta scalper signal failed here. So you had two fails, but you had two nice trades, two nice winners. Then down here you got the ratio and divergence, and we work our way back up. Right now it's I'm recording this. It's 2 a.m. Chicago time. And we're trading here at 11. So again, from 08 all the way up to 11 across 2 sessions. Okay, really quick, this will be the last one I'm going to talk about. This is crude. Okay, so this is about 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Delta scalper on the swing low, delta scalper buy, 620 ratio and divergence. So you got a nice delta scalper buy. It rallied from the 75, 76, 77 area all the way up to the 90s. Get a bearish signal here. You got 3 ratios in a row. It does come back up, test the high again, just sort of go sideways. But again, if you're trading at this time, this is an 8 range chart, so each bar is 9 ticks. This is, you could have at least got close to 20 ticks out of that trade. Delta scalper, another buy. It's a little close to the high, so even though it's a winner, I'm not sure. I would, I don't like to. I like to take shorts off of highs rather than buying going into a high. Here you got a ratio, no Here you got a divergence, no ratio. You get the ratio in the bar afterwards. Just sort of goes sideways on you, alternating green, red, green, red, green. To me, that's a sign the market's not really going anywhere, and just to faster. I'll say faster get out, but really seriously consider getting out. If the market's not going anywhere after you get into a trade, it's it starts the trade. The reason you get into a trade really starts losing its effectiveness over time, right? The market should move. If you're convinced that, hey, this is a signal, the market should move, right? It's not going to just sort of rotate around price. I mean, I would say it shouldn't, but it often can do that. But if it does that, then the signal's effectiveness, or the reason for taking the trade rather, is basically really losing its effectiveness for the trade. 10 o'clock, things got a bit crazy. Anyway, just look for some other delta scalper signals in here. Okay, so this is stacked imbalance. As he's already making a move down. The delta scalper buys here. So here's a nice sell here just before noon. Delta scalper sell. This is around, you're getting short somewhere around the 12 area. Rallies back up to 18 before selling off quite nicely from 12. Boom, 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 boom. There's no reason to be buying in here. If anything, you're just seeing more, what you're seeing is more reason to stay short. Bearish ratio, single print, stacked imbalance, bearish ratio, single print. Yeah, you got a green bar, still negative delta here. No reason to be buying. If you want, you can cut your position, but you get down here, you got some signs of positive delta. But this is a move from 46.12 all the way down to 45.50. It's a 60-cent move in the crude before you start seeing some positive delta. Delta scalper giving you a buy here, but it's a red candle, so you really shouldn't be looking to take it. But now you start going sideways. You got point of controls, sort of lining up in here. If you got out, it's a little premature, but at some point you're going to get out. Strong delta starts reappearing here, minus 900, minus 600, minus 600. As you start going lower, you get down here. Now you got some signs of life. You hit the low 9, you hit it again 40. So you're testing the low. You didn't get through it, which is encouraging. Now you got a delta scalper giving you a buy. Got a divergence, so you got positive delta off the low. Look for when you hit a low look to see if you're getting any positive deltas start to come in. And ideally, if you're going to move away from a low, you're going to want to see positive deltas over a few bars. And now you're starting to get them here. 1, 2, 3. This delta scalper buy, and it just starts to hang around before it starts working its way back up here. It's the delta scalper sell, but it's on a green candle, so you shouldn't be taking it. And so you come up from that low at 18 all the way up into the 40s or 50s up in here. Then we start working our way back down, and we end up closing in here around what is that, the 34 level. In the evening session, just more selling coming in here, just lower. I don't want to talk about these evening session, but anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I didn't do my room this week. I'm having some technical issues, and I apologize if anyone's trying to get into the room. But I just got some issues going on right now. Hope to get them resolved. It's a pain in the butt, but what can you do? It's technology. So thanks for watching this. Again, I'm doing a webinar tomorrow, or sorry, today. Time this video gets up, it'll be Friday, July 7 at 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. The registration link is below in the description, and sign up for it, and get on the list for the replay if you can't watch it. I've got a quite nice presentation. I've been working on it for the last couple of days. So if you can't, then you can't. Visit my website, orderflows.com, and visit deltascalper.com as well to learn more about the delta scalper. So thank you. Bye bye.